Today we're going to look at calculating a regression equation using Excel. We're using Excel because this is what you're going to need to use when you do your budget spreadsheet for your magazine. It's also a very handy program for a lot of your technology courses, and you will find out more about those as the need arises. So I have some data here that is telling me the time and the distance that a penny falls from the top of the CN tower, which is really, really high. So to start your regression, you need to enter your data. I'm going to make you guys watch me do it because it is what you will have to do when you make your regression equations. So my data, I have time is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Distance. The CN tower is pretty tall. All right, now in order to determine what parent function our data shows, we can analyze the data by looking at the changes, or we can make a chart of the data. To make a chart of the data, you need to select it and then go to Insert and select Scatter Plot, because we're just going to look at the points, the data points. So I'm just going to choose a regular scatter plot, and there it is. Has my time on the x-axis and my distance on the y-axis. Now looking at this chart, we can kind of see what shape it's making. It's not a line, it's actually quadratic in this case. So we can calculate our regression equation. To insert a trend line to find the regression equation, you need to go up to Chart Tools and select Layout. In Layout, you can see trend line is one of your options. Now, before I select this, I'm going to say a little caveat. You can only do linear and quadratic regressions using Excel. The reason is because Excel does have an exponential option, but it's not the exponential equations we are studying at this point. We'll look more at that type later on in the year. So, trend line. I don't see quadratic as one of my options, so I'm going to select more trend line options. This opens up a bigger screen that gives me a few more options. A quadratic is a polynomial of order 2 because that means x squared is in the equation. And so I'm going to select polynomial. It starts with order 2. And since I want to know what my equation is, I'm going to click Display Equation on Chart and Display R squared on Chart, so that way I can figure out the correlation coefficient. I'm going to close this for a minute. All right, so we can see we have our equation written down here. And we have our correlation coefficient. It's 1, which is really good, which means we predicted correctly. This is a quadratic relationship. Now, sometimes you don't always predict correctly. So you might want to change what your trend line represents. So let's go ahead and double click on our trend line. When we double click on our trend line, we get our options again. I'm going to move this over to the side and so you can see. If I select linear, it will give me a linear one. That R squared isn't nearly as good as the quadratic one was. You can try some of the others as well, but I have a feeling that quadratic is going to be the best one since that is the shape of the graph. So polynomial again, and there we have it. So this is how you calculate a regression equation using Excel. Remember, you can only do linear and quadratic data on Excel, but if nothing else, it's good to use it in order to look at the shape of the graph. If you find that the shape is exponential, you can use one of the other tools available to you in order to find that regression equation for that data.